Today, we're going to dive into a book that honestly carries both a huge sense of urgency and just this incredible hope. It's The Awakened Church by Reverend Roland J. Wells Jr. And it's really a powerful call for us to see that the world around us has completely changed because of global migration, and that this presents a mission opportunity that is absolutely historic, and it's happening right on our doorsteps. The book kicks off with this line, and wow, it's designed to wake you up. According to the author, this isn't just hyperbole, it's a diagnosis. It really sets the stage for a massive question. In this new world, are we, the church, going to see what God is doing, or are we going to sleep right through it? So what has changed so much? Well, the book talks about this perfect storm of three huge forces: globalization, urbanization, and migration. And look, these aren't just buzzwords. They are the very things reshaping our world, bringing people from literally every nation into our neighborhoods. The mission field we used to think of as being over there, well, it's here. And if you want to get a sense of the sheer scale of this, just look at this number. In the United States alone, we're talking about over 75 million residents who are either immigrants or their U.S.-born children. This isn't some trend that's coming in the future, it's our reality right now. God is literally sovereignly bringing the nations to us.
And there's a really fascinating spiritual side to this whole thing. While we hear a lot about the church declining in the West, the global church in places like Africa, Asia, and Latin America is just exploding with this vibrant, passionate faith. And that means many of the people arriving in our communities are bringing that fire with them.
Okay, so with this new reality staring us in the face, how are we supposed to respond? The book gives us this beautifully simple but really profound framework for ministry. It's called the tripartite model, and it's all about a balanced, Christ-like way to engage this new mission field. The whole model is built on three things that absolutely have to go together. First, the clear proclamation of the gospel. Second, meeting real human needs with practical love, things like helping with food or housing or justice. And third, building genuine, patient relationships. The book's so clear. If you're missing any one of these, your ministry just isn't complete. And here's the thing. This isn't some new trendy idea. When you get all three of those circles to overlap, that's what the book calls holistic ministry. And it's the exact model we see in the life of Jesus himself, right? He was this perfect integration of truth and compassion, where what he said and what he did were exactly the same thing. So the key takeaway here is this. Those practical acts of love, they aren't separate from sharing our faith. No way! They are the bridges that create trust and open up hearts. I mean, think about it. Helping someone figure out the bus system or find a job can become the very channel through which they feel the love of God for the first time. But, knowing what to do is really only half the battle. To do this well, we also have to understand how to engage with patience and with empathy, and that means taking the time to understand the immense personal journey every single immigrant goes on, a process the book calls acculturation. The book tells the story of a man named Omar, a refugee from Somalia. I want you to just imagine being completely overwhelmed by things we never even think about, like light switches, or how to catch a bus, or how the school system works. But with patient friendship and support, he learned, he adapted, and he found his place. Omar's story is the story of millions. Now, to help us wrap our heads around this journey, the book gives us three curves. The first one is the group acculturation curve. It shows that whole people groups tend to arrive in waves. First, you might have the leaders and entrepreneurs, the ones who establish a foothold. They're often followed by a bigger wave of families. And finally, you have the most vulnerable members of the community. Each wave shows up with really different needs and resources. The second curve maps out the individual's emotional journey. And it often starts with this deep culture shock and just total confusion. Then comes the long, slow grind of learning the ropes, figuring out everything from banking to social cues. And then finally, maybe after months, maybe after years, a new sense of normal starts to set in. Real ministry means meeting people right where they are on that curve. But this third curve, this one is the deepest of all, the identity curve. See, when a person leaves their home country, the most basic question becomes, who am I now? Everything that used to define them, their job, their social standing, their community, it's often gone, or at least shaken to the core. This is way more than just culture shock. It's a profound crisis of identity. And that's why this quote is just so critical. It's almost impossible to build deep, meaningful relationships with someone who is lost, who doesn't know who they are. But here's the amazing thing. This presents an incredible opportunity for the church to offer a new, secure identity that's found in Christ, an identity that goes deeper than culture or circumstance or loss.
All right, so understanding all of this is super powerful. But this book is not just theory. It's a call to action. It shifts gears from understanding the situation to a really clear, accessible invitation for every single one of us to get involved, personally.
So here's the core challenge the book throws down. Are we going to be religious consumers, sitting in a pew, focused inward on our own needs, or are we going to be frontline missionaries, sent into our own neighborhoods, focused outward? The book basically says that in this new world, every single believer is called to live like a missionary, right where we are.
And the great news is, you don't have to have it all figured out to start. The book lays out 4 super simple steps. First, just open your eyes. Be a detective in your own neighborhood. Pay attention to the different languages you hear at the store. Second, start small and simple. It could be as easy as offering a warm welcome to the new family on your block. Third, get trained. Humbly learn about the cultures of your new neighbors. And fourth, embrace diverse models. Don't just invite people to your church. Actively support the ethnic fellowships and diverse congregations God is raising up all around us.
I just love this thought because it's so empowering. You don't need a huge budget or a fancy program. The most valuable gifts you have to offer, your time, your friendship, your knowledge of how things work here, your kindness, they cost you absolutely nothing, but they are desperately, desperately needed.
So we're going to end with this question, a personal challenge for you to take with you. This isn't about solving some huge global crisis overnight. It's about seeing one person. What is one simple, small act of welcome that you can do this week to show the heart of God to someone He has brought right into your path?